Hey everybody, welcome into the Beehive. I'm your host, TheBee at LLC, and this is where we stack precious metals like it's pollen and nectar. Today we have Ian with us today, and we're going to bring him up here. Ian, welcome in. Good to see you.
And good to hear you, LLC.
Indeed, indeed. What's new in Jackson Hole, Wyoming?
They reopened the pass on last Friday afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, that's made a lot easier for the local people who work over in Jackson. 50-minute, 40-minute drive instead of a 2-hour, 10-minute, 2-hour, 15-minute drive.
Yeah, for sure. I bet. Is it they get a pretty good patch in the road, or is it kind of going over?
So yeah, the piece of embankment that fell away, it was a 70-foot high made up ground they did in the late 60s, and the subsoil underneath got saturated and failed, and so then a whole section of the path sort of rotated out and then just slid down the mountain, taking a chunk of the road with it.
Wow.
So they built another embankment on the inside of the curve. So hopefully it'll hang on long enough for them to get a permanent fix.
Yeah, cool. All right, looks like we got Niels Han Dynasty, Happy Tiger, Space Miner. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. And yeah, well, I guess we'll start off with quite a move in the silver price of late here, just today, huh?
Yeah, I was actually watching early this morning. I was catching up. There's a channel I watch now and then called Gold Advisor, and he was doing all the technicals, and he showed the falling wedge, the price, sort of lower lows, lower highs, zigzagging down, and he predicted 2 days ago pretty well exactly what's happened today. His opinion was it's got to do $1 or $1.25 and hold it, and then he thinks we are off. So interesting point of view from somebody studying it, not just from the macro, but from the charting,
from the technical. Yep.
From the technicals, and I guess they mean something, but and I guess probably as much as anything, traders respond when they see chart patterns, so they can become self-fulfilling to a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, I know. I don't know if you've ever seen. Have you seen Johnny Bravo? Have you seen his trading?
Yeah.
So he's funny to. I really get a kick out of him. So he's so funny. I end up watching him, and he does. He's got his way of doing things, and it can be pretty accurate. So it's and it's funny to then hear him see it, like you say, from the technical side.
Yeah.
And then zoom out and talk a bit about macro like we do, and so quite.
Yeah, I mean the fundamentals just keep growing behind silver in my understanding. Since 2017, I have not seen any or come across any new information that would make me less positive on the outlook for silver. Just and I try to keep a sort of critical thinking, just to keep reassessing, or why do I think this, and I try to think it rather than believe it, because if we switch to saying, emotion can easily sort of take over. So I try to be critical and keep assessing why do I think silver, and the reasons just keep growing.
Yeah, I agree. I try to do the same thing as well. I suppose I struggle because I'm always picking more up and really like it. But yeah, I mean, I try to not just just be ridiculously over the edge about it, and from what I mean, I continually see more and more evidence that it just keeps building and not just staying steady. Like since I first got in, in fact, even my strategy has changed, where now I'm looking at a lot more at just trying to stack weight and less collectibles, just because the evidence is so much more vivid now that it's getting more and more obvious that, yeah, that possibility that I thought that might be a possibility that could actually happen is now quite an obvious evident that yeah, that's happening. So yeah, it's the same way for me. So, and I heard another guy talking about silver and the Shanghai exchange, which we were been talking about. And he just referred to it as kind of the way I was wondering, is he thinks that that's just kind of going to be the new thing, and that's where we're now going to see our price set. And so,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pull on the price, isn't it? And it would suggest there's some dysfunction, and there isn't really a free market yet in fair discovery of the price for sure. That's not happening yet.
No, but there's a steady pull towards the Shanghai, like a steady $3 to $4 here, pretty steady.
It is huge, isn't it? And I think I said when I was on last time that's, I mean, apart from the silver eagles, we haven't got a premium that's anywhere near $4. It's like our silver starts at 0 premium, goes up to, I mean, our average premium is about $1.30, $1.50 on sort of generic, and sovereigns where everything is below $3 premium at the moment, apart from the eagle. So in America, you can buy a maple, a beautiful 4.9 fine maple 1 ounce coin for less than you can buy a 100-ounce bar per ounce in China. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. So that kind of that makes me wonder that we might just see that steady buffer there over there on the high side, and it might not have to jump much, just a steady pull. I don't know.
And it does seem we had a sort of a flush out of loose hands in that last run up. What do we get to? 30, 32 and a half roughly.
Yeah.
But talking to the major wholesalers, they pretty well got cleaned out of the stuff that came in on the secondary market. That's been sucked up with the recent dips down into the low 29s.
Yeah.
So that's getting harder to source the lower premium secondary market generic now.
Nice.
So I think it's a bit more of an anecdotal. I talk to the largest wholesaler in the US several times a week, and yeah, so they've sold out of the 1 ounce rounds. We helped them a lot. We sold quite a few thousand of the 1 ounce rounds in the last couple of weeks.
Nice. For which particular, just odds and ends, or one particular?
They've been really nice. I've got a few here. We've had some. Is that going to show up?
Yeah, that's an eagle. You got eagles.
No, it's a round.
Oh, that's a round. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, these
walking lib round with the old style.
Yeah, a bit of a fusion. Even had some nice. I've not seen this type before. Sunshine Mint.
1 ounce that got the balances on her. No,
that's the Sunshine Mint.
Oh, Sunshine. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've not seen that design before. These, and so yeah, we were really pleased. Man, I'm not a fan necessarily of the company. I think they're expensive, but
APMEX, yep.
Yeah. And I did get, and I might let you have a few LOC, some Mike Maloney gold silver 1 ounce rounds.
Oh, really? The 1 ounce?
Yeah. And then a few tubes of these rather nice buffaloes with a sort of a textured. I don't know if that shows up.
Yeah, a little bit. I like that textured on.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought I'd seen most of the buffaloes, but this is a new one I've not seen. So it's interesting. It's pretty fun opening up a box when you don't know what you're going to get in the sort of 10 ounce bars and 1 ounce rounds.
That is very cool.
I'll miss that when they're all sold out.
So. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it. You know, it's interesting to think about, you know, there's articles about pushing towards a gold standard, and you hear on the other side, oh, we'll never go back to a gold standard, and you hear both arguments about it. But, you know, some people were saying, you know, the US might even want to push towards, you know, gold standard if we have everything that we say that we have.
I'm pretty confident we've got way more.
Then even
I think we're supposed to have, was it 8,800 metric tons?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
And that's supposed to be at West Point and Fort Knox. I think we've got more.
Yeah, well, we know we've, like, in some of those, or at least I've seen a few videos on that, you know, some of those countries that we've been over to in the last 10, 20 years that when we left, we pulled large sums of gold from them as well.
Yeah.
So where that ended up, I would, you know, probably in our coffer somewhere. So,
yeah, that transition, how do you do it without a collapse? I mean, you need the wisdom of Solomon, don't you? How would you get from the fictional theory of wealth units, you know, digital dollar, basically, isn't it? Most people's wealth is in digits.
Yeah.
How do you get that hypothecation, that exaggeration, that debasement? How do you convert that? You can't do it painlessly.
Well, right, but I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, depending, and there's lots of different ways you could go with that. But yeah, I mean, if they revalued it, it's obviously gonna hurt the people. But if like, if you think about it, most people aren't even positive. Like, most people are negative in debt, not a lot of assets. So right. I mean, you know, and that's kind of the whole you'll own nothing and be happy. Like, you can see how if they just flip a switch.
Yeah,
they're kind of, you know, you can see where they're coming from with that. And I
think they missed something off in that sentence. I think we should complete that sentence. You'll own nothing, can be happy.
Right.
I think then in parenthesis it probably said, or you'll cease to exist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there was a choice, was there? It was
right. Well, I mean, you know, that's kind of where the signs are pointing, is that you know, they don't have the best intentions or care necessarily for a large part of the population.
No, I think anybody who wants to dictate even to a minority hasn't got their interests at heart, have they? For sure.
Right.
That's the beauty of America and of the diversity and how our current civilization was formed and is forming. I think the tolerance was a big part of the uniqueness and the strengths, and of course it causes tensions, and we have a lot of issues. A lot of people get very upset about immigration and uncontrolled immigration, and there's big issues there that need sorting out. But I think our strength is tolerance, not to force our opinion or one's opinion on someone else.
Yep. Yeah, and so bouncing back to my theoretical, but also if you look on the other side, like, you know, some people are talking about the BRICS and, oh, they're going to go to gold, they're going to go to gold, but they kind of wouldn't. I mean, I'm looking at both sides, and you can make an argument on both sides how they both kind of want to just keep it as is as long as possible, because they want to accumulate as much gold as possible.
Well, absolutely. It enriches the ruling classes. It enriches the politicians, the people on the inside track.
Right.
Yeah, the fiat system benefits those that have multiple assets already. You know, the only way you can really benefit in real estate, well, the typical way you can benefit in real estate is if you've got more than one home, like,
right,
you know, one that you live in and one that you rent.
Yeah.
Then, but if you're the average person and it's getting harder even to own a home, then you're never going to get that gain as real tangible assets keep giving account to the currency debasement.
Right.
So I would agree with you that they got many motives to keep the system going as long as possible.
Yeah, and even their underlying basis for their I don't know, their system or their government, however you would want to label that, like, you know, they're like, when you look at it, like I'm saying, you know, they want to keep the paper system going so that they can keep accumulating gold, because if it does slip out from under them, you know, and they are accumulating gold, like if they weren't accumulating gold, you might say, well, this isn't a thing, or you guys are just kind of talking a bunch of nonsense here, because, you know, it's not even on anybody's radar. But that's not the case. Everyone's kind of stacking as far as, you know, it's been made a tier 1 asset, and the, you know, the countries are now where they were selling, have now these last, well, at least from 2020, have been buying, accumulating gold as well. So that's kind of your proof that even, I mean, all sides can kind of benefit from this system as it is right now. If they're planning and working towards or building that gold underneath them, then why not keep it the status quo somewhat, right?
Yeah, and it was the Bank of International Settlements, wasn't it, made their Basel III, I think it was, declaration that gold is now a tier 1 asset, and it's now taken over the euro as a central bank reserve. Okay. So if you think the euro represents, I think the European Union is a bigger trading bloc as a whole than the US. Okay. So the euro was the second largest reserve currency, and now it's the third.
Okay.
So it's dollar, gold, euro. So I think at some point gold will overtake
the dollar.
The dollar as held as a reserve. It's going to take a lot longer because of the amount of transactions and the amount of debt that is written in dollars and has to be paid back in dollars. So I guess maybe the gentlest course to a sound money world would be a slow move as gold replacing the dollar to become the largest reserve.
Yep. And then see that they have their base, and it doesn't, the people, if they don't have anything, great, because they're going to be put on a credit system where, you know, right? I mean, I see that being a thing where, you know, like they're accumulating their gold now so they don't lose their base, because, you know, that's their base. But, you know, the average people, they just plan on doing some kind of, what, I'm not exactly sure, but CBDC obviously is some credit score / you know.
Well, we're most of the way there already on both of those. I mean, on social credit score, to get a good credit rating, what I understand in America, you have to borrow money and keep paying it back, and then take out a different type of loan. So you need a car loan, you need a property loan. The more you do that, the higher your credit rating goes, and the higher your credit rating goes, the better deals you can get.
Yep.
So in a way, that is a social credit score, isn't it? Your behavior. It's a reward for behaving yourself and playing the banker system that keeps enriching the banking classes and the owners of the banks. And then on the CBDC, we're so close. It's, you know, I mean, how many dollars do you keep in your wallet in paper dollars?
Right. Well, I keep a few, but that's because I'm a writer.
But you keep 2-3 months spending, you know, do you keep $3,000, $4,000, $5,000?
No.
But you probably spend $2,000-3,000 a month. I don't know, on all of your costs, and so, but most of that is digital transactions.
Yep.
So you're using digital dollars. We're using digital dollars.
Yeah.
When I pay a supplier, I send a wire. It's not ever represented by physical cash.
Right.
It's digital.
Yep. And I think over this time where they've pretty much sucked the value out of what value was there,
Yeah.
and now that the credit, when they move us into the new, so the credit will be a much bigger part of what allows you to buy. Like if you,
Yeah.
you know, get your HOA painted the right way, like little things are gonna suddenly be a lot more important.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be the new pay, strength, power, whatever. I think, you know, where that'll give them even more control, because then they can, you know, tell you what they want you
Yeah.
to act. And but I mean, yeah, so that's,
Yeah, and it doesn't have to come suddenly. It could just creep up on us. But again, I'm pretty certain we're going to have a financial seize up, something bigger than the banks that are failing, that have failed, or a group of banks in a very short period, and trust will break down. Then the banks will stop lending to each other. So the
did you
Fed
see that just happened the other night? That there, so there's a huge spike up in the overnight lending
yes,
between banks, and that
yeah,
they went, yep, that
yeah.
exact scenario that
That
you're talking.
lack of trust, and when it spiked up to 10%, when was that? Oh my gosh, that was that September 2019. I did hear an article then. That happened days after JP Morgan took the fine for spoofing the market on tens of thousands of occasions, particularly in precious metals. And I did heard a commentator, I need to try and find it again, and he said JP Morgan pulled out of the interbank overnight lending, and that's what caused a spike. Because if a major bank says, that's it, I'm not lending to anybody overnight, then a panic set in and the rates went up. And so it could have been JP Morgan just flexing their muscles, saying, okay, you've given us a fine, you've caught us, yeah, we did it, but if you push us too hard, we will bring the whole thing down. You know,
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me. It was a warning shot. But we're going to, because the banks are so interconnected, and you know, there isn't transparency on who's lent who, on who's bet against which interest rate going which way. And some people are saying there's $3 quadrillion of derivatives now. So it's like, it doesn't take a lot to go wrong in a complex system, and complex systems by their very nature, man-made complex systems anyway, will fail.
yeah,
So it doesn't really matter when or how, and I think that will be the smokescreen, and it will be the logical thing, and it will be the best thing for the majority of people in the moment to go full CBDC on us.
yep.
And if people say, well, I'm not using it, well, then you won't be able to, you'll be cut off from trading with the bulk of participants, because the bulk of people will willingly just switch over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it'll happen like that, where it's just the thing. Like you say, we're already digital, so we won't necessarily know much. Like they'll just switch. You'll just be, as far as we, don't you think that they'll just make the switch? Suddenly your bank will be using,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I've seen on, even on PayPal, there was a little video that popped up that they were, you know, implementing this new trading plan. I'm sure it's just, you know, it's just an onboarding system for
Yeah, I need to do more research. I'm rubbish at taking notes. I remember lots of details. I need to be better at doing that. But I'm sure it's called the Banking for All Act, where all the legislation put in place that the Federal Reserve would issue, everybody would have an account with the Federal Reserve. It would be distributed. It would be facilitated by every post office, every credit union, every bank would have to do it.
Yeah,
they would be the deal for them. They would be refunded their costs to do it, and the reason, it was in the name, the Banking for All. So you know, if it's called for the benefit of the population, it's the opposite.
Yep.
It's like, same with the founding of the Federal Reserve. It was put in the press articles where this will bring in regulation of the banks to make them more accountable and more transparent and better for the public. And it was the exact opposite.
Yep.
So if it's banking for all, it means enslavement for all is probably a better word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's coming. I don't think there's any practical way to stop it coming. Just prepare with your own parallel system.
Yep, that's it. That's what we're doing, right? Yep. Speaking of preparing, Ricky's House of Crap has brought up some Comex slices, and do you have any of those left? I've been getting some requests for those.
We have a few left. I was talking to because it was Jim Forsyth who was slicing those. So his business, Forsyth Engineering, he was and he was part of Silverback Precious Metals Wholesale. So he was personally with some assistants making those slices. So no, tragically, I think we had the last slice he made just before he died. So we do have a few left. Yes, we have a few 14-ounce slices around that weight. We had agreed with Silverback way back, about 2.5 years ago that we would do it as a franchise under their system. So if we can pick it up, we will pick it up and start slicing again. So yeah, very mixed emotions for me, because Jim was even though I only knew him for 3 years, he became a close friend.
Yeah, I know you guys.
Mixed emotions when I pull out the box of slices, and we've got some of his beautiful work in the shop.
Yeah, definitely keep a couple of those for your shop and for yourself.
Yeah,
don't get rid of them all. I know I'm not letting the one. I'd like another one, but I know other people are after them too. So they're.
I was thinking of getting together with all the YouTube channels I've been working with and doing some sort of combined auction, so we could do some fundraising.
There you go. I like that idea.
Fundraising for Jim's widow. She's got I'm not going to give too much details, but I think it would be a beautiful thing to do.
Yep.
And just as a thank you. She was very much part of Silverback. She supported him greatly and sacrificed a lot for him to get as far as he did.
I bet.
So yeah, we I did go spend a couple of days with Jim last year. That might still be on YouTube, actually. It was on Gold Silver Pros.
Yeah.
Where we sliced up the 100,000 ounce bar that they'd processed.
Okay, so you were slicing the 100th, because
it was a pretty cool. It was a 100 bar. ARK supplied it, and we'd sold it for a client who needed to sell one, and we got him a really good price because it was going to be the 100th bar that got sliced up.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we made 90 of the Gold Silver Pros 10-ounce bars out of it.
Cool. Yeah, and you also had you still have your ARK 10-ounce bars in 2-ounce. You have more?
Yeah, I do need to catalog them. I've just been putting them to the back of the safe every time they turn up. So, yeah, I have got quite a few, actually, of the two variants. So three variants. Jim did a batch of 12 hand pours before he'd fully set up the equipment, and then he did a batch of the Mark 1 ARK silver 10-ounce bars, and then he did an ARK silver gold osmium 10-ounce bar for us. So yes, we do have some of those. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I know. I'd like. I know there's demand for those. I'd like some of those too. So
yeah, it's hard at the moment because of the labor and the time to make them. It's a very labor intensive process. So whilst premiums are so low on the generic, and even Royal Canadian Mint 100-ounce bars and 10-ounce bars are pretty
right,
reasonable premiums at the moment.
sure,
But they really come into play, the slices, when premiums blow out,
right, yeah,
because the premiums don't rise wholesale that much on the 1,000-ounce bars.
yeah, yeah. I've been telling people that, and I knew that. I just Ricky brought it up, and people have been hounding me about those Comex slices, so I thought I'd bring it up. But yeah, I know.
will. Yeah, I'll get on to that. So I was talking to Jim's widow literally last weekend, and so yeah, I need to get set up here so we can start making slices.
Cool, cool. Good deal, good deal.
And then we'll have lots of shavings to because I don't think I've got the space, the time to start casting as well yet. So we'll need to find a market for the shavings.
I think it's there. I think I can make that happen.
You can help anybody who's casting. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so what do they have a nice show down in Jackson Hole for the 4th? I bet they put on a show.
We're actually going to be in Victor for the 4th of July, and we've taken a booth in the 4th of July craft fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did it 2 years ago, and it was really good fun. And so we thought, we'll do it again.
Cool. Cool.
Okay, OC, I'll put you down for one of the 14.5 ounce, 14-ish ounce. Yeah, Ricky's House of Crap. Yeah, he used to suck up all my end slices I could get my hands on. So.
Okay, yeah, cool, good. Well, that's I know the feeling.
I just see somebody asked, is there an osmium ETF? No, there isn't osmium ETF. I would like to coordinate to tokenize osmium, but have it on a 1-to-1. I think that could be an interesting proposition, especially with the price action that's imminently going to happen. I think it would be an interesting combination to combine the rarest form of the rarest element with a known production quantity.
Yep.
The 350 kilos. That could make a very interesting combination if that was tokenized and somebody vaulted the equivalent physical osmium.
Sure, no doubt. I mean, that's a very interesting idea. We already have those. With fact, you have some connections with. We were just talking through Kinesis, which is kind of a same type of idea, but with gold and silver.
Jim Forsyth was very involved with Kinesis. He was quite close to Tom McLaughlin, the founder of Kinesis. So yeah, he was actually talking to him about doing an osmium in the Kinesis, because they've got the KAU and the KAG.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to have the KOS. Maybe I should give Tom a ring. I haven't got his phone now. If you're watching, Tom, give me a ring.
Yeah, no doubt. That'd be you should do that. Okay, yeah, and then let's see, what else do we got here? So yeah, with osmium, I was thinking, so it's got all those characteristics. It's the most of all, it's the most inert, the most dense, the most reflective. Being the most inert, it should be like cleaning should be pretty easy if it.
Yeah, ultrasonic jewelry cleaners. Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about it getting hard or harmed in any way, because it's
as far as I know, there's been one failure in 11 years. And ironic, it was a piece that I sold, and it wasn't my fault. So I think it might have had just some sort of fault they didn't pick up. So they use the world's leading microscopes to check each piece after it's been cut. And so I think this piece just slipped through. It must have had a fracture in it. But apart from that, osmium has been cleaned thousands and thousands of times. in ultrasonic cleaners.
And that's like a water vibration.
Yeah, I think you use distilled water. I think you can put some detergents. I'm not really clued up on that. In fact, I did take a bit to a vault in Idaho, and the owner of the vault said, "Wow, that looks dirty. I'll put it in my cleaner." And it came out. It was a pendant. It was actually the pendant I bought off Scarlett Klaus back in 2022.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So yeah, he put it in his ultrasonic, and it came out beautiful. So I'll have to get one for the shop. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I was just thinking it shouldn't be a problem cleaning it because it's so.
Yeah, it's pretty darn tough. I mean, every now and then I'll unpack a piece, and you'll see a microscopic speck. Literally, you can just catch it with your eye. So less than 1,000th of probably a 50,000th of an inch just speck.
Yeah,
that it's come from the cutting process.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I handle lots of it, and I've never seen any meaningful piece separate yet. And first time people who hold a piece, they're sort of scared of saying, "Will it sort of crumble like glitter?"
Yep.
And
Well, that's for sure what I was. I remember. Yeah, I got a little short of you, kind of scratching it. I was like, "Oh my goodness, don't do that!" But yeah, it's not. Didn't hurt it at all. It's quite the most abrasion resistant material known, basically.
It's more abrasive than diamond. It's on the same sort of hardness scale. Yeah.
So yeah.
And also in the crystalline form, it's the densest form of osmium as well.
Right. So you don't have to worry about it.
No, so we're hoping to develop a platinum bar. We're looking at a 1/2 ounce or a 20-gram platinum bar with a piece of osmium in it. So I'm working with a major mint. Hopefully we can pull that off whilst osmium is still affordable. That would be fun, I think.
Yeah, so speaking of platinum and osmium pieces together, you say your guy's getting close on my shooting star?
Yes, yeah, Rick did say he would have it done this week, so I will chase up with him. I'll tell him he's got, it's Thursday tomorrow. He's got 2 days to get. I think he's been putting off because of yours has got the beautiful crystalline face on both sides, hasn't it?
Yep.
Art Collector. I am wearing the osmium watch.
Let me pull you up here on the.
I will.
There we go.
Take it off and dangle it. Here we go. There we go. Art Collector.
Beautiful.
It really needs sunlight. I'm always saying that, but you can get an idea. But if you multiply that sparkle by about 4 or 5 times, and you get a lot more blues and purples in sunlight.
Very cool.
Oh, and another treat for Art Collector. Here's a pendant we had made out of a 7mm square.
Oh yeah, nice.
So Rick R. Goldsmith, he's mounted this. This is a standard 4-leg thing, and he's even put like a little gold edge round. He's added that piece in there just under the osmium.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, he's getting more confident working the osmium. He was a bit nervous to start with, thinking he might break it.
Yeah, I bet. But he's saying it's pretty good to work with.
Yeah. Apart from the fact he's really good and really busy, but yeah, I try not to be too pushy with somebody who's just really good, and he's really good value as well. Good.
Well, I'm excited for it. I'm glad to hear it's underway.
Yeah, because I think, as I was saying, your wife's, actually, it's not yours, is it? It belongs to your lovely wife, the shooting star, I think you said. So
yep.
Because it's got the crystalline on both faces, he's got to make a very delicate frame and shape that round.
Cool. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, Space Miner. I don't know. Can Space Miner get a picture? Oh, hang on. I might be able to do it. Space Miner has started customizing. Let me, where is he in my phone? Space Miner has started customizing watches with a very ingenious way.
Hey, JT's coin rings. Welcome in. Good to see you.
I don't know. Will that show?
Let me pull you up. Oh yeah.
Look what Space Miner's done on a watch. Isn't what a brilliant idea?
What is that?
He's put an osmium disc in the winder on the side of the watch.
Oh, and the winder on the side of the watch. Okay. Oh, yeah. That is a good idea.
Isn't that awesome?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean, I love his thinking.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, that's the ultimate upscaling, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Oh, JT coin rings. Yeah, oh my gosh, I still haven't contacted JT. I wanted to get some coin rings done that can take some osmium.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I got to get with him too. I'm trying to get an ancient coin ring made.
You're gonna turn an ancient coin into a ring?
Yep.
Oh, really?
I said I'm gonna push him a little bit further over the edge. He said he's already gets in trouble for
people. Yeah, just for doing libertads or
right. I said I'm gonna push him on over the edge. So, it's funny.
Oh, and yeah, and we're getting closer to making a 1 ounce silver round. We're trying to get a batch of 1,000 done. And that will have a recess to take a 3mm osmium disc, or a disc of gold or turquoise or other gemstones.
Interesting. So it's going to come pre with a kind of a hole built into it type thing?
Yeah, my idea is to have a round that will be our first custom 1 ounce silver round. And obviously we don't really want to spend $80,000 or $100,000 on 1,000 3mm osmium diamonds. So
sure.
I'll think of other stones pieces I can put in, get cut as a 3mm disc.
Cool. Yeah. No. Cool. Is that what's how many details can we get? Is it going to have your logo in? You want to hold off on all the details?
It may be in tiny. I just want it more to be a beautiful 1 ounce round. I'm more interested in the appearance. I'm not sure advertising on a coin ever does much, if anything. I'd rather the round was beautiful.
Sure.
Maybe one day we'll get a country to let us put a denomination on it, and then it can be a coin.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can get coins, I guess, from what I've heard, fairly easy if you just got to submit like your artwork and your idea, and a lot of them will well, some of the smaller, I guess, countries and whatnot will do it, I've heard, but
okay.
I don't know. I know I've seen, like these here, I mean, you get some, I think maybe possibly Hi-Ho Silver had something to do with that. I'm not sure, but I know this was a local artist that had those put in. No, it wasn't. It was somebody else. But yeah, that's it can be done. It's doable.
Oh, I just remembered as well. We have the incredible Ryan Davis's 6 ounce silver revolvers back in stock.
You have one right close to you by chance? Do you?
I can shoot and get one if we want to take a commercial break. If
you have anything for your deals of the week, yeah, if you got anything right close.
Yeah, deals of the week. Yeah, we're doing we've got a few 1 ounce rounds, our choice at $1.30. We've got beautiful Buffalo rounds at $1.40, and we have Britannias, 1 ounce Britannias, $2.50, and 20. We have still got some 2023 maples at $2.80. Just had a little price cut on the American Eagles, so we've got 2024 Eagles $5.50. OC Stacker, don't be sad. No, I've saved to the 007 bars. We have some beautiful 007 bars. Did we show them last time I was on?
I did see the 007s.
Yeah, I'm getting seller's remorse every time I sell any of those. So they are really beautiful.
They are.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, plenty of deals on the generic. 90% is as low as $1 over spot for dimes and quarters.
Okay, beautiful. I have a feeling that's probably not going to last that long, but
no, their prices, premiums are starting to creep up, which suggests that the wholesalers have reduced their stocks down to a level where their accountants are not screaming at them to dump stock.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. Would you have that revolver right here? How long would that take to grab it?
Probably take me a minute to go grab it if you want to sing a song whilst I go get one.
I'll sing a song.
All right.
Thanks, Ian. All right, what song would you guys like to hear? Silverboy Blues, welcome in. L, good to see you. OC Stacker. We got in here. JT, I need to get with you. How did you get to work with that ancient coin at all? How did that work out? I got to get with you and hear how that went. Ian's got a gun. There you go.
There you go. Saved by the bell.
Space Miner says I need to sing Ian's Got a Gun.
So yeah, I never cease to be amazed by Ryan's machining skill. From what I understand, silver is not.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Oh, yeah, those are awesome. I do really actually quite like that. That is so cool.
So each one is, so they hydraulic in, and he's got really neat laser marking.
Oh, wow.
On the end there.
Beautifully machined.
Yeah. And even on the end of each silver bullet.
Nice.
And from what I've heard, this is the guaranteed cure against the Federal Reserve debasement of fiat currency.
I bet.
Yeah.
Do we have a list price on that, or is that
yeah, I mean, if we
that's
would
drop it in that auction that you were talking about.
We were doing these for $4.40 when silver was a fair bit lower. So yeah, we'll still do them at $4.40.
$4.40. How many?
Yes, it's 6 ounces exactly. So he's made it so the
$4.40. That's a good deal.
So the chamber is free, and each bullet is ½ an ounce exactly.
Oh wow!
But I think he's even improving. The laser marking seems to be even sharper. Yeah. And apart from the osmium dice, we do have a batch of the standard dice, which started off the osmium dice.
Okay, L, he just said $440, I believe, for that.
Yeah.
Yep, $440 for that, for the 6 rounds
And
there.
we do have the standard 1.5 ounce silver dice.
Beautiful. Okay, those, yeah, how much are those going for?
I'll have to work that out. They're not crazy.
Those are really nice looking dice. I'm not sure where you got those done, but those are really nice.
He's done a really crisp job on these.
That's the same guy that did. Okay, that's where that's coming from. Yeah, that's really impressive. I might have to get me a pair of those.
Yeah, his accuracy is incredible.
Ricky, you got the dice too? What? Goodness. I'm behind over here.
So yeah, I had to assemble another pair of dice yesterday, so I have to be in the mood, and I get a little syringe and I pull the glue into it, and you've got to get just the right size drop of glue on it, drop it into the recess, and then lower the osmium disc in.
Wow.
And you've got to do it 42 times for a pair of dice.
Wow,
that's OC Stacker. Yes, friend of mine, Ryan Davis. So he wholesales them to us metal retailers.
All right, Ryan Davis.
Yeah, he's good. He even did us had a client wanted a .458 bullet made. So he even made a mold, cast a bullet, machine that, got it a perfect replica.
Wow. So you can maybe even have, if you had enough moolah, you could have something made. If you
can have a custom. Yeah, he's for what he does and the skill. I mean,
I was impressed with that price for what that 440 for that.
It's not crazy, is it? It's a beautiful piece of art.
And it's 6 ounces, you said?
6 ounces, yeah.
See, that's not bad for that much milling and whatnot. No, yeah. Cool.
So yeah, it is just fun just watching the.
Oh man,
the fit is so perfect. The air acts as a fluid. So,
how many of those do you have?
I think I got 11 of those.
Cool.
Yeah,
might have to put some money together for that. That's pretty cool. Awesome. What else are we missing here?
Did we want to touch on the Supreme Court, or do
let's
we
touch on
it?
Let's hear it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I was surprised that the Supreme Court think that any president should be more above the law than we thought they were. My understanding of the Constitution, and even of Kavanaugh before he was appointed a Supreme Court judge, he was saying that no one is above the law, or no one should be above the law. Yet we've had a 6-3 vote saying that a president is immune if their action was presidential, or part presidential. And I just think it's a dangerous path. I think the founders of the Constitution were escaping European tyranny. The British royal family were dictators. They were above the law. And I think there's a risk if you create that, it's going to be abused at some point.
Yeah. I was watching that best evidence that I showed you guys, a channel of his the other day, and he was saying that that's what happened over, and you can probably tell me, it sounds like what you're talking about, where the king got so overbearing where his little magistrates or whatever was working under him would go out and just kind of take farmers' land because they just kind of were making up laws as they went, or you didn't get a payment, just kind of being crooked a little bit, and so that they went finally to the king and said, look, we're not going to take this in. We have to have a law of the land instead of just you make up the rules or they make up the rules as they go, and we'll be fine if we just follow this certain law.
Yeah. The problem is, if a president is not got a character and integrity to always act selflessly, what point do they start making decisions for their own benefit or their personal connections, their family's benefit?
Yeah.
There's always going to be the temptation. Do you know what? I can never get prosecuted for this if I make it look like a presidential act. The chance of getting prosecuted now are pretty well zero.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're a Pfizer or something like that.
Well, yeah, and in a way, we do have interesting. That's an interesting point, LLC. It does almost seem that like the companies that produce the synthetic opioids and basically killed thousands or hundreds of thousands of Americans selling painkillers that were addictive to the point of killing people, they seem to have escaped. Lots of companies seem to end up just taking a fine rather than actually getting prosecuted for doing heinous acts. So you're sort of right. There almost is a corporate monarchy, isn't there, already?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, when I heard "too big to fail," I mean, that just cracked me up.
I know. It's like, you what? Too big to fail, so we'll let you get bigger.
Right. So, I mean, and it's the same thing with that, where you suddenly can't be prosecuted because they're too important or too. Well, that's
too big to fail should have been met in the same paragraph. Okay, you are too big to fail. We're going to break you up into little pieces. So now any one of your pieces and all of the pieces can fail.
Right. No doubt.
Yep. So yeah, I think that was a bad move. And heck, am I on the level of a judge? No. But America celebrates tomorrow, Independence Day. Unfortunately, I don't think America is as independent from the global elite financial. How can we be polite about them? The leading financiers who think they rule the universe. I don't think America is as free as it thinks it is.
No,
and I just see this as a step where a president could become compromised. It's a slippery road.
Oh, for sure.
And do we need a president anyway? I guess that's another question. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, definitely not with the process that we have in place right now, anyway.
No, because half the country is always miserably unhappy with the result, aren't they? It seems just divisive. The current system is, and I think it's designed to be divisive.
It is.
Speeches have been made that the Americans will be allowed their political parties, so they will fight over matters of no importance, whilst the leading financiers forming imperialism to rule the world. That very speech has been made way back.
And I would have, without hearing that speech, I have said that's what's going on. So I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah. So I think to devolve power to the states and to the counties is probably a better overall with checks and balances. But we are all human, and give human excessive power, they will abuse it, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's I do see sometimes, like with your sheriff and whatnot, I see that as still somewhat being an intact thing and somewhere where you can probably maybe go and make a difference. And
I think so. Yeah. And it's going to be a test for us stackers. We are going to get a reset in our purchasing power.
Right.
It's going to be a moral and a character test for us. What are we going to do when now our decisions can prosper or not someone else?
Right.
So we're going to be put to the very test. We're criticizing a lot of these wealthy companies and people for.
Sure.
So,
yeah. That's definitely something to keep in mind for sure and pay attention to. And
so anyway, no, I think the whole Congress and representatives and president and stuff. I think it is a lot of it is a diversion to stop people actually looking and seeing what actually is going on.
Yep.
Why are they living paycheck to paycheck? Why is the corporation they're working for getting wealthier and wealthier, and yet they're running faster and faster to stand still? It's
yeah, and like, I mean, luckily, I mean, for me, you know, and to me, we're probably pretty typical as far as, I mean, we have a home, we have, you know, I have a wife and 2 kids, and your average home, and you know, we're having, I mean, it's, if I wouldn't have made the moves that I made when I made them, we'd be, I mean, I don't know how people are, you know, that aren't paying attention.
no,
they're gonna be hurting pretty bad, because I mean, I can see, and I've been moving them, you know, into position for quite a while.
Yeah.
I can feel it all. I mean, it's coming down. It's a good thing. I'm very, very glad that I started to prepare, because whew, you know, it's already starting to hit, you know, people like me. So
yeah. So on a happy note, what can we celebrate? Yeah, this is still independently minded country. I think it's a country, the majority of the people are very decent, honest, hardworking people.
Yeah.
Who look out for each other and their neighbors. And I think it's not representative what we see. The people who get elevated, a lot of the talking heads, I don't think are very representative.
Right.
I'm not going to mention names, but it always upsets somebody. But a lot of the people that people sort of look up to and follow, are they really? Would you really want your children to grow up to be like them?
Right.
No, it's
yep.
You know, and yeah, I'm biased. I live in a small town in rural Idaho. It's an incredible place. How you bring those qualities back to the more concentrated urban environment, that's a big challenge for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but the way the antidote, the way I see it, to the ruling classes and to the politicians and all the media who want to tell us how to live, is to actually, do you know what? No, we'll do the right thing in our own home and in our own town. Look after our neighbors. I don't know, even if it's just picking up a bit of rubbish and saying hi to somebody every day that you hadn't before.
Yep.
So I think that the more small acts we do as individuals, I think that the ruling classes become less relevant.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed, Ian. That sounds good. Well, we're over our hour here, so I think that's all I had for the evening. Anything else you'd like to share before we get out of here?
Yeah, no. So happy 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't throw any tea in any rivers. Just try it. You'll probably enjoy it better than coffee. So.
Right on, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back again next time. I'll probably be back this weekend. So, and Ian, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Look forward to having you back again in a couple of weeks and see where things are at then.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, I think we could be 32 silver. That's what I'm predicting for 2 weeks' time.
That's all right. Sounds good. All right, everybody out there, thanks for hanging out and coming in. We will catch you all on the next one.